responses. Staying on this schools issue, we just got a flood of questions. If you could pull out your salmon pink sheet.
It might be.
Okay, it might be salmon.
Or white.
Some color of red. But either way, it's a chart. And it's called Inglewood School Profiles. This one right here. It's yellow. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Go on and pull it out, take a look at that. Relating to this, we can see that in the 17th ward in Inglewood, as it's concerned, we have a number of schools that are on probation, some for several years, one for as many as 7 years. The question, starting with the incumbent alderman, is what is your plan for moving schools out of probation status? What is your plan for moving schools out of probation status in Inglewood?
First of all, people need to understand that the Chicago Public Schools has their own board and their own governing board. So anything that any alderman can do will be persuasive or advice. Now, given that, we are pushing for, and I have pushed for, additional resources into our schools. I've put over $8 million into our schools in the last 4 years in the 17th ward. So that's Inglewood and the rest of the community areas in the 17th ward. We also need to support those families. Anytime you have a family that is more involved in the school, that child does better. We have to support that. It's not all about the teachers, it's about the entire family. So we have resources to support that family as well as the student. And those are the ways that we can gradually bring up the scores, which will bring that school out of probation.
I never think that I can take on this task by myself. And so often, we let, again, aldermen in the front line, but we let so many other elected officials get away. You have to come in and you have to get with everything that comes from resources. And you have to work with those other elected officials, your congressmen, your state senators, your senators even, and get that funding to change that. Because our thing, when you get to probationary, it's about resources. That's all it is at the end of the day. And part of that, those resources, how we even fund our schools. So we need to be looking at those best practices, where it's through more income tax instead of a property tax base, in which how we fund those schools. Education is not the problem at the end of the day, because our gang members are learning stuff. These guys know how to do a lot of things, and they can make money, they can create, they can do a lot of things. So it comes down to accountability. Because if my lawyer do bad, I'm getting rid of him. And so if the teachers do bad, we got to have ways so these unions can get rid of some of these teachers as well.
Well, if the students are doing bad, then who appoints the person over our children is doing bad? And who supports that person? And that person has been Mayor Daley. He has ran our schools as a business opposed to an educational institution. The last two superintendents were not educators. They were business people. They made business decisions. If you look at the transformation of public housing, the schools were dismantled before public housing went down. It's no different than what happened to public housing, education, to Inglewood, to Roseland. The top and our alderman, being the chair of the education committee, holds some of that responsibility by not calling the question as our children are being ran as a business opposed to an educational institution. So we have to look at the big picture when we're talking about our children.
Thank you. Your time is up. And I do want to reiterate that we want to keep this about your plan. Candidates, let's not talk about our opponents.
CPS has their own budget. They're an independent entity. Grant, that is true. But the CEO is appointed by the mayor but confirmed by the alderman. So we do have a little influence. But I have a problem with this. We had a great talent to be the next in charge over at CPS named Barbara Watkins. Barbara Watkins, she's number 2. She was a chief education officer. We lost her. Now she is superintendent at Michigan City in Indiana. She's a black woman that had experience as a teacher. And she's been faithful and loyal to CPS. And we lost a great talent. I don't know if it's racism. I don't know what it is. But I know she was competent. But what we need to also do with these struggling schools is we have to reduce the classroom size. So we have more individual experience because they need it the most. I don't understand that 30 kids is average across the board, but those kids need at least 20 kids, and I think you will help a whole lot in their experience, educational experience.
Education is very vital, I believe, and as alderman, education is a part of my platform. I want to be able to bring principals together quarterly so that we might be able to discuss and I might be able to ask what are some of the things in which I can do to help as alderman. What's going on to make things that are not going right? It needs to be done right. Those schools that are excelling, I want them to share with the schools that are not excelling what they're doing to make things so much better in their schools, to make kids act so much better in their schools, to make test scores so much better in their schools. So as alderman, it is my plan to be able to first encourage schools to excel, to do their best, and to come together and try to work out or bring solutions to me to see what I can do to help as alderman.
And you can keep the mic.